YouTube, new family. Daniel here for another quick video. This one is something that just came to my conscious today. It's about 7 a.m. Did my morning walk, reflected, and this came when I was reflecting in the morning. Obviously, wake up at 4:40 every day, and reflect into my laptop, my MacBook, and we just was thanking God for the day, speaking with Him, and then somebody told me something about gifts, spiritual gifts. My brother Mike was speaking about this with me in the morning. And this just came to my conscious. I had to share it. I shared it on my Instagram. It was raining outside, so I wanted to do this a proper video before it leaves, because I thought this just there and it's like pushing me to get it out to the world. But essentially, this video is about gifts. Your gifts, even though they may seem of the flesh, they are channels to reach people and get them to eternity. Meaning, your gifts are a way for God to access those that are, thinking, are in ego, to access their spirit and touch them in a way where it can go with them to what is most eternal, which is heaven. So I'll give you an example, if this makes sense. But essentially, you can think of athletes or musicians or artists, maybe Lionel Messi, artist Picasso. Their gifts, came through the channels that, sports, painting for Picasso. One that I mentioned on my story is Andrea Bocelli. So he's obviously a singer, an opera singer, so his channel was opera. But the only way that he's able to access his true gift, his spiritual gift, which is, that touches the hearts of other people, the spirit, the soul of other people, so they can understand that they're spiritual beings, is when he gets into flow state. So flow state is, there's no science behind flow state. It simply means, you can do something for 2 hours. It feels like 10 minutes. It means you're simply flowing and not thinking. And that means when you're not thinking, the devil is not there. And when you're flowing, God basically looks down and says, okay, I can give him access to his gift now. And then you see, like I said, examples, maybe Messi, his best game when he's not thinking and flowing, you see him on the outside just kicking a ball, but those that are watching don't understand why they keep watching, something that calls them to keep watching someone in flow state, but it goes beyond him kicking a ball. It's a spiritual gift because, like I said, it gives those access to the spiritual when they believe it's physical. When you're watching it on TV, people pay thousands of dollars to go watch him, in stadiums and stuff like that. It's because your spirit reacts to someone in flow state. I was watching Andrea Bocelli. You can see my last video, and I got emotional and had memories of me as a kid because he was in flow state. Andrea Bocelli is legally blind since he was 12, I believe. So, when he's singing, the mind, almost can't think because, he's not able to see the reactions of people. He has no vision. So when he's singing, his eyes are closed and he's able to flow. He's not getting distracted by things externally. So when he's flowing, that is God working through him. And you believe it's just singing. He's a beautiful singer, of course. Like, his voice is amazing. But the channel that God is using, this is the singing, it's like it unlocks a different thing. So it unlocks his actual gift, his spiritual gift. And that is something that only God understands, but essentially is, the way that the spirit reacts in a body that, people believe is flesh. So people believe that we are physical beings, that we sometimes have spiritual experiences, but we are spiritual beings having physical experiences. So that is why, I always speak about the flesh is temporary. I was lost in the flesh, lost for many years with women, but the experiences I remember the most out of the dozens, hundreds of women I was with, is 2 or 3, because those women were not thinking and unlocked something spiritual and gave that to me, gave that to my spirit, and my spirit holds on to that, because your spirit is what holds on to things for eternity. It's not going to be your flesh. Like I said, you can have thousands of women touch you in any way possible, but what actually gets held on to is what your spirit reacts to, or the gifts that they give you. So that is why, you can't say, oh, my gift is making money, or my gift is getting girls, or my gift is, I don't know, something of ego, something that is a result of something. Your gift is when you flow, you get access to your actual gifts. So you're gonna have a channel that you have. That's why you can't think about your gift. I had this whole thing for the past few months of like, oh, what is my gift? What is my purpose? But that is the devil trying to deter you to get you towards feelings of, oh, this is my gift, this is my purpose. When you're not thinking and you're into flow state, you've unlocked the channel that God is going to use to give you or give the world your actual gift. So when you're in flow state, like I said, Andrea Bocelli is in flow state. People believe his gift is singing because people, see the flesh or the external. But when you listen to him or in concert live and you see the way he sings, something within you is touched. That is your spirit. And that is the gift that God is giving him. So the channel does not really matter. You can be, I don't know, a gardener or a carpenter or whatever it is. Maybe you make perfumes, I don't know, or cologne. But when you get into flow state, you are able to access the gift. So God works through you and gives that gift to the world. So, it could be something, like it's hard to explain what is in, maybe a cologne that you sell to people, but like there has to be something that is, channeled. It's only channeled once you're in flow state. So when you're not thinking and you do something, it's going to be something obviously you enjoy, and you can't get into flow state with some things you hate, but it's going to be something that, you're passionate about. And when you get into flow state, that is when God, unlocks a true gift and essentially touches the hearts and souls of other people, because that is our true calling, is to get people to the true eternity. There's no eternity here on the flesh in the world. You may believe, oh, the money I make, the millions in my bank are going to be here forever. No, it's going to dissolve. It's going to, go into the hands of other people based off how they live, their frequency, because everything is frequency and energy and vibration. So if you believe, oh, the money I make now and my frequency is going to stay forever, no, because that money is going to be given maybe to people in your family, in your will, and based on their frequency, they either keep that money or it gets released back to those with higher frequency. So, it really is a game of not thinking. But this message was something that was my conscience was telling me to just share, because like I said, for so long I had this thing of like, what is my gift? What is my purpose? And that just gives you more thinking, more access, gives the devil more access to you. But like I said, when you are in flow state, you begin to access your true gift, and God begins to use you and give you your spiritual gift. So like I said, it's about finding your channel. It could be, like I said, whatever it is. Maybe be something, has to be actually something obviously ethical. You can't have some weird channel that you're doing, but it's going to be something that interests you. And then from there, when you get into flow state, God, based off the people that react or see the channel that, speaks with you, based off how much you are in flow state and how much you're not thinking, that channel will begin to affect other people in ways where they can't explain. And like I said, the example I give you is Messi with soccer, but people can't explain why they keep watching him, but something within them, their spirit, is reacting to the way he plays because he's not thinking. He's in flow state. And obviously he's really good at what he does. And, if you see clips of him, you see plays that he makes, but he's not thinking about the play. He's not like, oh, like, let me go past this guy and have to like kick the ball in a way that like, it curls. He's not thinking. He's just flowing. So that is why God uses him as a vessel through that channel to touch, the hearts of other people. But, the true gift really is being able to get people to access their spirit and realize that they're spiritual beings. Because, you see people walking around and they believe they're just their body. They believe that they're the feelings or chemicals in their brain, but you're spiritual. Everything that, you're going through right now, whether you're in a positive state or negative state, it can be adjusted if you understand that you're a spiritual being. It all flows from above. So that is why, flow state is what makes you become a vessel. If you're just thinking all the time, you can't be, a vessel for God, and you never actually discover your true gifts. So hope that makes sense. This is something that, I was speaking about more on my Instagram, but Instagram cuts out on the stories. And this is something that I wanted to speak about because I got crazy energy from it this morning. And it was something that I wrote in my reflections. Let me see if I could find it here actually. So this is a laptop I use. I just got it for Black Friday. So I said, yeah. We are creatures of you, Lord, and all giving gifts in order to make one another's lives better. Spiritual gifts to help one another find that this is a spiritual journey. So, like I said, when you're in flow state, you're able to access your gift, and God, through his understanding, because he's all understanding, all knowing, he will be able to access the spirits of those that need it most, and then you touch them in that way. So you believe it's something, physical or visual, that the gift is something that's like tangible, but no, it's spiritual. So the whole job really of us is finding what gets us in the flow state, and essentially just giving control over to God, because like I said, those that are in flow state are vessels for God, because they're not controlling, they're on their head trying to think about what they're doing. They're simply flowing, and like I said, the channel does not really matter. As long as it's a wholesome channel, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm an OnlyFans manager, or I am a pimp, or I deal drugs and I'm in flow state. It's not the same thing. It's doing a channel that does not hurt anybody, and from there you're able to give the gifts as long as you're flowing. So that is what my conscience told me to say, put on here, and I wanted to have it on video so you guys, those struggling or trying to think about their gifts, the whole thing is get into flow state, trust that God will take over, and then from there your gifts will begin to affect those, because like I said, the channel does not matter. As long as it's a wholesome channel, does not hurt other people, or anything like that, then it's a channel that God can use you through, because God's not going to use you through a channel, like I said, that's for the devil, something that maybe hurts other people or whatever it is. It's going to be something that is a place that he can promote himself through, because God wants to work through you, and the only way we can do that is through flow state, and then from there you access. He is able to give the gifts through you, and then you understand the channel for your gift, but then the rest is taken care of when you get into flow state. So I want to throw that out there. That is essentially the video, just quick wisdom before I go to the gym. And like I said, this was something that was on my conscience, and for many months as I was leveling up and growing, I was like, okay, what is my gift? What is my gift? What is my purpose? When I realized, the gift is only given to the world, revealed to myself, but most importantly, stays with those that need it through their spirit for eternity. When you do not think, get in a flow state, and you simply let God do the rest. So if you stayed on the video, God bless. Hope you guys got some value from it. And it's to help you guys realize that the whole goal is not thinking. Whenever you're flowing, you're more with God than when you're thinking and trying to control and believe, even with good intentions. Even thinking that you think is good, or like motivational, productive, is still thinking. When you flow and don't think, you are with God, because you're putting trust in him and allowing yourself to be a vessel through the right channels, of course. So anyways, like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed. I love making these videos now, especially when I have these thoughts and things that come to mind. So I needed this to be on camera and give to the world this message, especially those struggling with that uncertainty or questioning things. It's following your passions, following things that you enjoy, and then from there flowing. And then once you learn to flow, then you're used as a vessel to give your gifts to the world. So it's also about aligning yourself with the habits, but there's a habits masterclass that you guys will see in the playlist channel. You can use that to begin to align yourself, and then from there, slowly, you remove the distractions, remove the vices, and then you begin to, get the channel flow, and then God works through you. So God bless. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, until next time, keep killing it.